Daniel, interestingly in Beirut, asks, how would you explain the good news to a Muslim? Now he asks in 2 minutes. I won't force that particular time frame on you. But.
I think it depends. There are great varieties of Islam, and I am not at all an expert on that. I have read the Quran. I have taken part in some Christian-Muslim dialogue, so I know just a little bit about it, but it's not where I have been called to work. So I would be very, very cautious. And depending on whether this Muslim is somebody who is likely to be very hostile to the faith, in which case we would have a very gentle opening conversation and maybe look at some passages in the Quran and the New Testament which were similar but subtly different and discuss that. That's a great way in, by the way, to have scriptures open in front of us and to see the similarities and the differences. But ultimately it is about Jesus, because the Muslim reveres Isa as a prophet, and Jesus himself talks of himself as a prophet. But now it seems as though this prophet is going a bit further than that. What does that mean? In what way is he more than a prophet? And what would it mean if he were Israel's Messiah? And then, of course, all sorts of other questions come in about Isaac and Ishmael and all that, which takes it way back. But ultimately then it's about the message of the cross and the message of this God who we see in Jesus is the God whose self-giving love takes him in the person of his son to die on the cross. And that is something which the Muslim has, by definition, almost ruled out.
You said you've had the privilege of baptizing Iranians who have obviously become Christians. And has there been, in that sense, a kind of that kind of journey they've gone on theologically?
It's extraordinary listening to their stories, and I've heard this from several sources quite independent. There are people in the Muslim world, apparently, who have vivid dreams of Isa without ever having read the New Testament, without ever having been talked to by a Christian. And I have no explanation for this, but it does seem to happen. And then they go looking, I want to know more about, because I had this dream. Who is he? And then sometimes they get hold of a New Testament, which may itself be very risky. And then sometimes they come to faith, and then sometimes they have to get out quickly and come to the West. So this is a toughie, and I pray for the people who work in that area. And I observe that God is on the move in very strange and interesting ways.
For podcast episodes, bonus content, and to ask your question, sign up at askntwright.com.